Welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year, an epic challenge that my partner Laura and I decided to tackle a few years back. The challenge? 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. Today is going to be a two-parter, and in this episode we are going to tackle the beautiful Waioeka Gorge, which is one of the most underrated road trips in New Zealand. See you at the end of this video.
This morning we are leaving Opotiki to make our way all the way back to Gisborne. Yes, after spending 3 days road tripping to get to Opotiki from Gisborne, we are just taking 3 hours to get all the way back. But it's a stunning road ahead as we're taking the Waioeka Gorge.
But first we need to make a plan on which pit stop we want to make along the way, and we have some help. So part of what we want to do today is to drive this Waioeka journey right here, because it's a really beautiful drive all around. And it turns out that we just did stop right here and we found a big map of ton of things that we can stop at. So Laura and I right now are making plans.
There's 6 par sites around here.
6?
Yeah. And they're just all around us. They would have been in the hills.
Along the Waioeka journey, there is heaps of places to park. So after passing 1, 2 and 3 of them, we decide to stop on the third one, because if there is places to park, there is probably awesome things to see. And little did we know, there is! We are on a beautiful riverbank with a ton of pebbles. The river is placid, looking super calm, lined with the Jurassic looking forest, and it feels like a dinosaur could step out at any time. So you've never heard about those woods that you use to find water? They used to use them in the Far West, in America.
No.
Oh. Well, here you are. Water's here.
Wow. Wow.
After walking along the riverside for about 20 minutes, we decide to get back on the road because we do have an activity planned later this afternoon as we take the Gisborne City Vintage Railway, and we want to see a lot more things along the Waioeka Gorge. The deeper we get into the Waioeka Gorge, the more dramatic the scenery gets, with the mountains getting bigger and bigger, towering above us, absolutely covered with dense forest. It's a really picture-perfect place. And along the way, there's a lot of official stops where it's well signposted, so it's easy to see before you need to pull over, and then there's loads of little information signs to learn more about the history of the Waioeka Gorge. The signs talk about the early history of the Maori settlers that first arrived in the Waioeka Gorge, goes on to when it became a farming area, and then talks about how this whole area has become a regenerating forest. Along the way also there are a couple of historic bridges, so we check out the Manganuku Bridge, which was built in 1928, and it's one of the rare surviving wood truss bridges left in New Zealand. We head back on the road and make our way to our next short pit stop, but there's actually a lot more to do on the Waioeka Gorge if you want to spend more time here. For instance, there's a few campsites, there's also a lot of walking tracks, but because we have somewhere to be today, we just decide to do the short things. For instance, at the monument parking area, there's an awesome little watering hole where you can go for a dip, or you can just watch the native birds, or just chillax, have a picnic, and be surrounded by this beautiful, placid environment. Those somewhat calm and shallow rivers are usually a bed for heaps of different insects. They are usually flying just right above the water, and you can see them if you pay a lot of attention, and this usually attracts a lot of native birds, and namely the fantails, which are very agile birds feeding on those little insects. So we just found a couple of fantails which are kind of feeding, so they fly just above the water and just under the water. So they just fly just above the water and pick all the little bugs which are flying above the water. It's absolutely brilliant. We love seeing that. It's so amazing to be able to see those fantails in action. They are super quick but super agile. Obviously our footage does not give them justice at all. Actually, there is a super show that you guys can watch. It's called BBC 2 New Zealand's Earth's Mythical Islands, and they have some awesome slow motion of those fantails hunting. It's definitely worth watching. Then we jump back on the road toward Gisborne. Next time on day 278, part 2, we are jumping on board the Gisborne City Vintage Railway, taking a traditional steam train through Gisborne City across an airport runway and beyond. So join us tomorrow for the conclusion of day 278 and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing and you get a reminder for every one of our awesome episodes. Go!
Waioeka. 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 Okay, Waioeka. Waioeka. Waioeka? Wow.
Waioeka.
Waioeka. God, what a word. Oh, I'm going to try to only say it once. Waioeka. Done.
Okay, everybody, I hope that you really enjoyed this one, and I can't wait for part 2 where we're going to showcase the Gisborne Railway, which is, it's quite cool. You'll see tomorrow. Alright, so let's go over some of the comments you guys had the first time we published it, and Family Travel Vlogs say that the scenery looked beautiful. NZR Engine, which was a few videos back, very much looking to see the Gisborne trains, say I can't wait for part 2. We have Laurie Carter that say, let's start again. Our scout group used to camp weekends there. They were some of the best times in our lives. I was 11, 12 years old, just magic place. There is some really big eels we used to go to spear at night and catch our brekkie. Fond memories. So they used to hunt eels to eat them for breakfast. That's pretty epic. So obviously Laurie has been in New Zealand for quite a while. Stephen Benner says, well presented video, best wishes from Opotiki. We're going to Opotiki quite soon, so you'll see that shortly. Jay Williams has a bit of an anecdote, a bit of a fun story to share. He says, try walking it. I did. Well, 3/4 of it before I got picked up. It took a while and 2 hours of it was in pitch black darkness. Don't ask why. I don't even know. True story. So I don't really know what happened right here, but I know there's a long story behind there. MYT3T10 says, New Zealand's most dangerous roads right here. You don't want to go through there when it's storming. Indeed, there is a lot of tree falling on this road, so it's quite it's famous for, you know, not being too safe when it is raining. And Jimmy Smith asked, did you see the white lady or the lady in white there? So the lady in white is like an urban legend that, you know, like a bride's like ghost in there. There is this kind of legend in many parts of the world. So yeah, apparently it's happening right here. So here you go. All right, if you're planning a trip to New Zealand and want to know more hidden gems of New Zealand, well, make sure to check out nzpocketguide.com. It is New Zealand's largest travel guide after all, and it's all free for you to use. If you feel like picking our brains, Laura's and I, you know, about your trip to New Zealand, feel free to join the NZ Travel Show. It's happening at 8 AM every single Sunday, New Zealand time, and we are standing right here on YouTube in this studio answering all your questions for 1 hour. So if you want to know more about your, you know, things to do in New Zealand, or even just kind of ask us questions about things to do in New Zealand, well, make sure to join us then. In the meantime, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.